in a senator from Colorado, Sen Gardner, about the proceedings that happened last night and what's about to happen today. Senator, welcome back. You took the
Hey, thanks for having me.
You took the vote. A lot of people said, could this be political peril if he doesn't vote for the president's exoneration? You took the heat and you just said the president's innocent of this. Why?
Well, look, I think on Fox and Friends over a year ago, I talked about how what the House of Representatives has become is a revenge majority. It's a revenge majority that is trying to do everything they can to prevent this president from succeeding. We saw the fastest impeachment investigation in our nation's history. We saw the most partisan impeachment investigation in our nation's history. It gets over to the Senate, and had the Senate actually moved to convict, the precedent that would have set, the danger it would have created for future presidents would have been unreal, and the constitutional crisis that it could have created. So it was no question in my mind as we went through the process that they lacked the high bar, the high burden they had to meet to remove for the first time in our nation's history a duly elected president of the United States.
Senator, there's talk that Republicans could plan to expunge this impeachment if they win back the House.
Well, I think that's what the Senate did with the acquittal. I don't know how that would work in the House, but again, I think what this shows. This is the first time that an impeachment has been used exactly how the framers said it should never be used. Right. The historical precedent, the historical mark that this sets says they used a partisan political faction to drive an impeachment over policy differences, and that's the challenge this sets. Look, when I ran in 2014, we changed the dynamic. We changed the dynamic of this country for the majority. Since that time, we've cut taxes, we've grown the economy, we have incredible successes for this country. But the stakes that the impeachment showed are the stakes that we're going to be facing in 2020. Do we have an America that wants to continue to build on the great things that we've been able to accomplish? Or do you empower people like Chuck Schumer or Bernie Sanders to take away people's health care, to increase taxes, to increase regulations? That's the real choice, and I think that's that mark that impeachment will show.
And I think that's probably going to be one of the talking points we hear between now and the first Tuesday in November, Senator. Obviously, the acquittal yesterday was a gigantic win for the president and the White House and for Mitch McConnell, because he was able to hold all the Republicans together except Mitt Romney. I know you can't get inside of his head, but I'm sure a lot of people have said, hey, what's the deal with Mitt to you?
Well, look, I think, as Senator McConnell said, there's no such thing as a doghouse in the United States Senate. But look, this shows that every member is going to come to their own conclusion, whether you agree with it or not. He came to his own conclusion different than mine. But I think that we have to realize that the same people who are praising him for his vote are the same people who called him a felonious tax cheat that caused cancer. And so the press will praise you when you do what they want you to do and attack you viciously when you're not in line with what they think you should be.
Senator, you're in a tough re-election battle. Everybody knows it. Did this vote help or hurt you in it? Have you been in contact with Mitch McConnell for it? Because you're on the same page. He wants you to be successful. He knows you're not in a bright red state. So what is your message to the people of Colorado with this vote?
My message with this vote is let's move forward. Let's start getting things done. Just 2 days ago, we announced $28 million for the construction of a pipeline that will serve 50,000 people with clean drinking water. This was a pipeline authorized in the 1960s by John F. Kennedy. President Trump actually made it happen, and so we were able to get this to work now. First time in over 50, 60 years that this will be under construction. I'm in Colorado Springs today. I'm just a few miles away from U.S. Space Command. We've moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado. Those are the things that I'm going to be talking about to the four corners of our state. And we need to move forward. We need to put this divisive, nasty partisanship behind us and actually start focusing on those things that we have done for this country. And we have done a lot of good things as incomes have increased, as wages are growing, as more people are employed in every sector of our country.
It's so interesting because we're waiting on the president to arrive at the prayer breakfast. Nancy Pelosi's up there at the dais, and they're going to have to see each other for the first time since the hearings and since she ripped up the speech. What did your constituents, what did they say about that?
Oh, embarrassing. What they saw was embarrassing. Look, this is a solemn, constitutionally prescribed occasion, the State of the Union is. And to see a speaker premeditated, embarrassingly rip the State of the Union apart really shows what the House of Representatives is willing to do to our country. And that's why, that's why this election is so important in 2020. That's why this focus on making sure, look, if we lose in Colorado, we lose the Senate majority. That's why people around the country, people around our state have to understand the stakes, because they want to take this country into a socialist direction. They want to take this country into a place where they're undoing the tax cuts. And we can do better. We have done better.
All right. Senator Gardner, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.